So welcome again to A Dose of Financial Resilience. I'm your host, Ken Smith, the managing editor of Building Financial Resilience for an Uninsurable Future, the Impact of Climate Change on Personal Finances and the Wealth of the Nation. Today, we're going to look at the 5 most and the 5 least affordable states from a homeowner's insurance perspective. Let's dive in with the first 5 least affordable states. No surprise, number 1 is Florida. The average home insurance cost in Florida is $9,213. That is 421% higher than the national average. Now, we know Florida saw a bunch of severe weather in the last few years. Weather damages exceeded $15 billion in 2023 alone, including $3.6 billion from Hurricane Idalia. There were several major home insurers that stopped in certain parts of Florida, and many have left the state entirely. Rates have increased by 14% for 2023. So no surprise, Florida is the most expensive state for home insurance. Coming in at number 2, Oklahoma. The average annual home income cost is $4,782. That's 170% higher than the national average. The median home value in Oklahoma is nearly 50% lower than the national average. However, with insurance rates surging, homeowners in Oklahoma, it's not exactly the value fest for real estate that people might think that it is. Coming in at number 3, least affordable is Mississippi, where the average home insurance cost is $4,017. That's 127% higher than the national average. Mississippi homeowners saw an average rate increase of 23% in 2023 alone, and Mississippi home insurance rates increased 433% more than income in the state for 2023. Number 4, Texas. Average annual home insurance cost, $3,969. That's 124% higher than the national average. Texas home insurance rates increased by 18% in 2023. That's 452% more than wage growth. Texas may be faced with more threats from climate change than just about any other state because they're affected by hurricanes along the Gulf Coast, tornadoes across the entire state, flash flooding, and severe heat. We think Texas may be the number 1 state with respect to the different types of severe weather that they get impacted by. Number 5 on the list of least affordable is Kansas. The average home insurance cost was $3,245. That's 83% higher. Kansas home insurance rates increased 19% in 2023. The median home value in Kansas is 40% lower than the national average, but the home insurance rate is 83% higher. So now let's take a look at the 5 most affordable states with respect to home insurance. Number 1 is New Hampshire. The average annual home insurance cost is $1,190. That's 33% lower than the national average. Now, the state's median income for households is $90,000, which is 21% higher than the national average. And while New Hampshire is prone to severe weather, it has the shortest coastline of any state in the nation. Number 2, most affordable, Minnesota. Average home insurance cost, $2,142, which is 21% higher. A key driver to keeping rates lower in Minnesota is state law, which prohibits home insurance companies from adjusting rates based on geographic location of the town, the age of construction, etc. Minnesota has actually recently won a case against Liberty Mutual in which Liberty had to repay their rate holders $7.7 million for overcharging them because they went afoul of the state law. Coming in at number 3, most affordable, Vermont. Annual average home insurance cost, $914, under $1,000. That's 48% lower than the national average. Now, Vermont homeowners have the lowest home insurance rates, under $1,000. All Vermont communities are very low or relatively low risk, according to FEMA. And so they're doing great in Vermont, although they did have that significant flooding event in Montpelier in July of last year. Number 4 is Maine. The average home insurance cost is $1,169. That's 34% lower than the national average. Home insurance's main cost is about a third less, Like its neighbor, New Hampshire, Maine's rates are significantly lower than East Coast states further down. And while Maine has a long coastline, in fact, Maine has the longest coastline of any state in the nation, every county in the state has a very low or relatively low risk rating from FEMA, keeps their insurance rates low. Number 5 on the most affordable is Connecticut at $1,583 for annual home insurance. That's 11% lower than the national average. Hartford, Connecticut, of course, nicknamed the insurance capital of the world, is home to numerous insurance company headquarters. And while it has a long coast facing the south, much of Connecticut shoreline is somewhat protected from a direct hit from a major Atlantic storm by New York's Long Island. Those storm surges from hurricanes are simply not going to be washing over the entire Long Island Sound anytime soon. So that's our program for today. We hope you will join us again. Thank you for paying attention.